Until we see it in a contract, we don't really know. Arizona president said to Stewart Mandel in the interview Wednesday, welcome to episode 170 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football, and if you do as well. If you need a little bit of extra content to get you through the day, to get you through the night, subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, share the video with your family and friends. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get back to this, well, I would call this a back and forth interview. President Robbins with Stewart Mandel. A lot of great, interesting comments. A lot of positivity coming from Arizona President Robbins and what he expects in this deal that's going to be presented in front of him by George Kliavkoff. But man, he went back and forth. Well, let's go through the article. I'm going to give you my comments, and then I want you to give me your comments in the comments section below the video. Let's get right to it. Arizona President Robert C. Robbins, a Pac-12 media deal will be better than Big 12's. Again, from Stewart Mandel from The Athletic. In a wide-ranging 50-minute interview Wednesday, Arizona President Robert C. Robbins says he expects the Pac-12 to finalize a media rights deal within the next couple of weeks, and that he believes the dollar figure will be better than the Big 12's recent extension with ESPN and Fox, worth $31.7 million per school annually. So again, that dollar figure, not talking about the visibility, the dollar figure will be better. So Robbins' expectations, President Robbins, is pretty high up there. When you read this article, can George Kliavkoff meet the Arizona president's expectations? That's the question. None of us aspire to win a bronze medal, Robbins said, but I think we got a bronze medal in this thing. I think we'll be the third best deal out of the Power 5 leagues. Again, Arizona president putting some high expectations that George Kliavkoff is going to have to meet. Back to the article, Robbins' comments are notable because he's the president of one of the four corner schools, Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado, that the Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark has been targeting since USC and UCLA announced their departures to the Big Ten last summer. Robbins, who said he has spoken with Yormark and multiple presidents in the conference, did not conclusively say his school will remain in the Pac-12. Rather, he's waiting on the Commissioner George Kliavkoff to deliver the official deal in writing. As we've been saying, as you all know who've been following us to Peek Around the Corner for weeks, we have reported to you all that none of these Pac-12 presidents has actually seen a comprehensive deal placed in front of them. We're going to go in more detail about that after we go through this article. Again, Robbins is not saying for sure that he's staying in the Pac-12 during this interview. He's got to see the deal that's put out in front of him. And here it is. Here's one of the two money shots in this article. Robbins, until we see it in a contract, we don't really know, he said, but we've got a pretty good soft circle number. Well, where did he get this soft circle number? He got it from George Kliavkoff. But they haven't seen it in a contract. We really don't know. They really do not know. And again, I'm going to get more details about this after we go through this article. Robbins disputed various reports over the past several months that suggested the Pac-12 would move most or all of its games to a streaming service. And here's the second money shot of this article. I find this extremely interesting. Robbins, the majority, he said, will remain on a linear platform. ESPN is believed to be the primary bidder among the traditional media companies. But is there something else going on? Is there another linear network that's getting involved? Because here, the majority, he said, will remain on linear platforms. So it's not going to be a majority heavily streamed media contract that we've all believed it was going to be. All the reports out there. Robbins is saying no. His expectations is the majority of the content, majority of the Pac-12 content will be put on linear platform. I find this extraordinary interesting at this time on March 16th. This was said yesterday on March 15th from one of the presidents of the Four Corners schools on the perceptions that the Pac-12 is on the brink of collapse. I think Brett Yormark is a heck of a salesman. And Endeavor, here's the Endeavor part again. A Hollywood agency working with the Big 12 is a good PR firm, and they're working it. And you, the media, are buying what they are selling. The problem with this statement, from President Robbins, is President Robbins is confirming in this, when we go through this article, you're going to see it. He's confirming what the reporters are actually saying. So there are no lies being told by these reporters. There is no plot. Man, there's a lot of deflection going on in Pac-12 country. Back to the article. I tell Brett this all the time. I've got really good friends over the years who are presidents now in the Big 12 schools. I love you guys. But if the roles were reversed, I wouldn't expect any of you to leave the Big 12. If you didn't know what the deal you were getting there, we've got to see what the deal we're getting. And then I'll be able to make an informed decision. That's what everybody is saying. That's what all the reporters are saying. That's what we have said from Peek Around the Corner from day one. Robbins, you're just confirming what all the reporters are saying. No, it's not an Endeavor PR. What's PR plot, PR actions that are making this all happen. You haven't seen the deal yet. Of course, no one expects Arizona to bolt until they've seen the deal. And we, again, at Peek Around the Corner, we have said over and over again, they actually have not seen the comprehensive deal. They wanted to see it 2 weeks ago. They couldn't get it done. Now they expected to see it this weekend, early next week. Robbins, again, we've got to see what the deal we're getting, and then I'll be able to make an informed decision. Confirming what all the reporters are saying. Back to the article. Until then, it's all speculation and people fear-mongering and saying you don't want to be the last because there might not be a seat for you. Well, I got to tell you, President Robbins, that's what the sources, exactly what they're saying. None of them want to be the person left in the room to turn the lights out. Those were the exact words we got. From Arizona State Money Perch, who's been nailing this story from the very beginning. That's exactly what the sources are saying. Well, I'm not buying into that, Robbins says. I haven't seen anyone else jump and run. Of course they haven't. No one has seen the deal yet. And they might not jump and run. And no one has come out and conclusively say, yes, people are bolting from the Pac-12 right now. Of course you got to see the deal. It'd be a problem if enough people did, obviously. And that's what Brett and the Big 12 are banking on. If you can get Arizona and Colorado to say yes, then the whole Pac-12, what's left of it, blows up. We're at the end of this thing. Even though I've said, why don't we just wait and see what happens? See how many horses we can get in the race. What Robbins is saying here, what President Robbins is saying is, why don't we look at the option of just waiting more? And see if we can get other media companies in and bid, and get a bidding war going on. President Robbins, the deals aren't getting any better. They're going to actually get worse. And thank goodness the Pac-12 is winding this up now and not waiting how you want to do it. Thank goodness that's not happening. Holy smokes. Back to the article. But people are starting to feel the pressure and all the rumor and speculation that Oregon and Washington are going to leave any day and go to the Big Ten. I mean, that's not what I'm hearing from people I talk to in the Big Ten. On the Pac-12 media rights negotiations, what I think, this is now President Robbins saying this, what I think is going to happen is within the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a deal, and then we've got to decide, is it good enough for us to all take? And that is exactly what everybody has been reporting on. Get the deal, hash it out. Is it going to be good enough for us all to take? Is it going to be on unequal revenue sharing? Is that going to be a discussion after you all see the deal? Again, how much linear, how much streaming? Is that going to be good enough for you all to take the deal? I'm going to say it again. This is President Robbins. What I think is going to happen is within the next couple of weeks. Now, people have been saying this week after week after week, but in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a deal. And then we've got to decide, is it good enough for us to all take? So Robbins isn't saying for sure we are staying in the Pac-12, or definitely he's not going to say we're leaving for the Big 12. Robbins, throughout this interview and put down in this article, has put pretty high expectations on George Kliavkoff, right? The money's going to be better than the Big 12. More of it's going to be on linear than streaming. The bar he is setting, President Robbins, is pretty high in this article, in this interview with Stewart Mandel. Can George Kliavkoff present a deal that meets Robbins' expectations? Back to the article. I'm very confident. Back last summer, I was even more confident than I am now. He goes back and forth. I'm telling you, a very unique interview because there's a lot of stuff that's happened. ESPN and Disney has laid off some people, and they're going to be laying off more. The economy is not going great. Some of the tech companies laid off some people. So I don't think the climate is as good as it probably was back in the summer. And we all told you that months ago at Peek Around the Corner. It wasn't going to get better than that. Pac-12 made a huge miscalculation. Huge miscalculation in their exclusive window negotiations with Fox Sports and ESPN. A huge miscalculation. And that's why I think you're getting all this pushback on Endeavor and reporters lying. And it's just deflection after deflection after deflection. This is the story. Pac-12 scrambling to try to get a good enough deal right now to keep everybody on board, and they might be successful. But they are scrambling. They're hoping they see a contract before them that they all can sign off on. Back to the article. I've been a lone voice saying, why don't we wait a little bit longer? He's been the lone voice. Why don't we wait a little bit longer? What's really forcing us to make this decision right now? Maybe there are other people who will come into this market who will have an appetite for getting into college football. But his counterparts want George to bring the best and final deal as soon as possible. And let's get this out of the way because it's a drag on people, and I understand that. So President Robbins actually wants the Pac-12 to slow play this even more. That was the problem. That is the problem, that the Pac-12 did slow play this, that they went out in the open market when the media market, when it was starting to get into a recession, when it was starting to contract. That is the problem. And Robbins wants to do more of that. Very interesting comments from President Robbins. On the appeal of the Big 12 for Arizona men's basketball program. They're kind of the dominant powerhouse basketball conference right now. They are the dominant basketball conference right now. And that's why the Big 12 is attractive. Here's Robbins. In the midst of trying to get a deal set in front of him from George Kliavkoff, he's talking about the attractiveness of the Big 12 right out in the open. Wow, unbelievable. I heard Kansas coach Bill Self say, we'd love to have Arizona come over here. I think our coach Tommy Lloyd would say the same thing. Arizona president saying, I think our coach Tommy Lloyd would say the same thing about the attractiveness of the Big 12. Again, unbelievable. This back and forth, this interview, boy, this President Robbins, he is absolutely conflicted on what he should do. I don't know. Back to the article. I don't know, and I haven't asked him. It'd be kind of fun being in the Big 12 because of geography, and we're not that far off of the Texas schools and the Oklahoma schools. It'd be an exciting league to be in for basketball. But you know as well as I do, the thing that's driving this is football. That's what the media companies care about. On his push for the Pac-12 to add Big 12 schools in 2021, the day that Texas and Oklahoma announced they were going to the SEC, I started pushing the narrative of why don't we take the other 8 Big 12 schools right now. I wanted to call former Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby and say, why don't you just come on over here? Make it the Big Pac-20 or whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's not as big a deal as the Big Ten or the SEC, but that would have been a pretty good deal. And that would have avoided all this poaching and maneuvering. I think it was our best shot because Bob probably would have retired. George would have been the commissioner of the Big Pac-20 or whatever it would have been called. And we would have been having a different conversation today, but that didn't happen. So you can see President Robbins, he's not scared of these big conferences of 20 members, 18 members, 16 members. He's not scared of that concept. He wished that those two conferences would have merged, but they did not. On how many other Pac-12 presidents supported his idea? 0. President Robbins laughs. 0. So President Robbins has a different view of all this than the other Pac-12 presidents. On the Pac-12 potentially adding San Diego State and SMU, we really haven't had enough time for discussion about expansion. My personal opinion is we need to expand, and I think San Diego State and SMU are two good schools with two good teams that we should give strong consideration to, but we can't do that until we get a deal. Again, what is the deal? What does it look like? Because nobody knows, truly knows, and we're going to get back to that at the end of this article. Once we get the deal and get everyone to sign their grant of rights, get everybody to sign that grant of rights, or how long is the deal? How long a deal is it going to be? How long of a deal are you going to be able to get Oregon and Washington to sign on? Then we can start talking about expansion. But I think both of them would be targets of the Big 12, but maybe not SMU because they already have the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. The San Diego State is attracted to the Big 12 because it gets them out into California. But San Diego, as you well know, is not the LA market. Jeez. Well, we'll skip over that. I mean, this President Robbins, he's all over the place. He's all over the place in this interview. On the importance of getting into Texas, finally, the end of the article. I think it's really important because I'm looking beyond just sports recruiting. I'm looking at Texas because at Texas being our next California for regular students. That's been our biggest growth area for students coming to the U of A. It's been a very purposeful on our part as a strategy to try to go and get those students. So if we got to play games there, wow, that would be huge. That'd be huge. Okay. Here's my thoughts. Again, put down your thoughts in the comments section below the video. The Pac-12 presidents have not seen a deal. We reported that to you for weeks. While other people were reporting that they voted yes or no on deals of $22 million per school, $25 million per school, $30 million per school, we've been telling you all that they actually have not seen a comprehensive deal. Now, the problem with President Robbins saying we think we're going to get more money per the Big 12, we've seen the soft circle number. The problem of all this is that the information we've been getting from Arizona State Money Perch, who's been nailing the story from the beginning, is that the presidents have seen projections of what the media companies would offer in money and being tied to, we would do media companies, we would do these amount of games, tier 1, tier 2 at this time, linear streaming. The problem is that when they see these projections, when they have seen these projections from what certain media companies would offer to the Pac-12 universities and the conference, is that a lot of these projections have overlapped each other. In other words, streaming company A would be offering certain content that media company, that linear company B is offering. They're offering the same content, so they're double dipping. Like, it's hard for the Pac-12 presidents to even figure out exactly what that number figure is because they're getting offers that include the same package of games, of content. And then you're just adding 10 million to 20 million, you're getting 30 million, but both of these companies have the same games involved in each offer. So it doesn't work. What they haven't seen is a comprehensive deal that separates all the content, possible content, This is the offer. Amazon, ESPN, Apple TV is in this offer. Apple, ESPN is in this offer. Amazon, ESPN is in this offer, where they're not overlapping each other's content. This is the money figure. This is the money figure. This is the money figure. That hasn't happened yet. Now it's going to happen here real soon, right? This weekend, Monday, Tuesday, these presidents are going to know, and then they got to get everybody to sign the grant of rights. They all got to be okay with this deal. So that's been the problem this whole time. The Pac-12 presidents do not know what they're getting yet. They think they know, but they really don't know. Until they know, they can't make any decisions. And this is exactly what the reporters have been reporting. And yes, there are sources. There are people really close to the situation that says, yeah, people are nervous. People are nervous. They need to see the deal. We need to get this deal done. No lies were told. There is no Endeavor plot. Arizona president has to make a decision. He just said it out. He just said it here again. Now, he sounds pretty optimistic. So we'll see if George Kliavkoff can meet his optimism. To see if George Kliavkoff can actually give him the numbers that he can sign off on. And then you got the Oregon and Washington situation. They need to sign the grant of rights. How long will it be? Are they willing to do it? Is Washington and Oregon willing to slow play this some more because of what's percolating in the Big 12 and the Big 10? Big 10 going to sign, get their new commissioners sometime in May. Will Washington and Oregon wait that long? Have they received enough positive feedback here in the recent cloak and dagger discussions behind the scenes? We shall see. So stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner. Stick with us as we cover this seemingly unending story, the saga of the Pac-12 media contract negotiations. Stick with us. We'll see what happens. Until next time, from all of us at Peek Around the Corner to all of you, please, you all take good care of each other. Thank you so very much.